Good morning, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. Today is Wednesday, June 1st, and I want to welcome you to the show. We are here live on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Hey, you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Truth Social, TikTok, and all the other social media sites by searching Larry Steinhouse. Make sure you do that. I'd love to connect. Also, just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. You can also comment live during the show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and please say hi so I know you're watching. A couple of people saying hi already. We got John and Tommy. Thanks, guys. I totally appreciate you guys watching. All right. Also, by the way, if you're commenting and it's not in the group on the Money Chat Now fan page, your name may not show up, so please comment on the Money Chat Now fan page, and that way I can recognize you. All right. Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class tomorrow night by going to investorschooling.com. So if you haven't gone to a class, go there. Go to investorschooling.com, attend a complimentary class. There you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. On today's show, of course, we're going to be discussing the futures update. We're going to be talking about Lucifer in Canada. We're going to be talking about Biden praised in Russia. I wonder if Lucifer's there too. We're also going to be talking about Socialism Media continuing. And Facebook sued again. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into the futures update. So right away, let's talk about it. What's going on here? It looked like it was a possible good day yesterday, but then, the Dow kind of started out low. It started out about 400 points down, and it recovered, along with the S&P and then the NASDAQ, but then, it went down again. The Dow finished about 200 points down. It's struggling to stay above that 33,000 mark and making my prediction correct. So if you remember my prediction was 31,000 to 33,000. The Dow already pretty much finished where it started at the beginning of last month. So basically, the beginning of May and the end of May were almost exactly the same. During the month, it went as high as 34,000 and as low as a little below 31,000. And it's working in a range of 31,000 to 33,000 pretty well, but it may have space to move towards 34,000. All right. I'd really be cautious at that level, though. The big news, by the way, that can be extrapolated from this is the fact that Wall Street is no longer concerned about inflation or rising interest rates. You have to remember that the market works on emotion, and basically also the steak and tuna theory, which is something that we teach. When emotion is high, the market flies up, and when emotion is low, the market kind of follows. And if you're a fan of the show or a student of Investor Schooling, you understand that everyone has a tuna fish week. Boy, have I had a lot lately. Hopefully we can get some steak this week before the rally ends. We also have the start of a new month today, and that often brings excitement to the market as the money managers are done logging their business for the month. And, so basically they logged their business for the month of May, and now they're working on June. Remember, it's all about how much money they can make with your money, not necessarily how much money you can make from them. But don't forget, they get paid nicely to make money with your money, so that might be all right. The VIX is also slowly moving down from its high last month of about 35. It's about 26.5 now. I'd still like to see it move below 20 for some comfort, but that may not happen for a while. Also, oil settled down a bit yesterday when it hit a high of 123 over the weekend and a high of about 120 yesterday, but it settled down to right around 117 right now. All this makes traders happy. Even crypto was happy yesterday and it crossed the 32,000 mark again. All in all, it was a good day. Even my CCL moved up a tiny bit to close over 14. I need 20 by July 15th, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and maybe I can recover. This one's going to kill me, I'm telling you. A year ago, it was at 31.5, and now it's less than half of that? Yikes. I need a recovery. By the way, it was as low as 12 when the pandemic closed the cruise lines. You would think that this current season would be better than when it closed. Anyway, we'll see. I think the cruise stocks have a lot of room. I think they're a play into the future. Definitely for sure. The real question is I need it by July, and we'll see what happens. The tech stocks like Twitter, Apple, and Meta just kind of stood there all day. They moved up a little, and then they moved down a little, but nothing really happened. I'm waiting for Elon to make his post about the day he's closing on ownership of Twitter. I think Twitter's a buy here as we wait for the news. Both Amazon and Google moved up, but the investors are waiting for the pending split. Amazon will split on June 6th, and Google will split soon after that. I'm telling you, watch Amazon for the play. It's going to actually, whatever Amazon does, that'll be the play for Google. They will probably mirror each other. If Amazon does well after the split, and I predict it will, then Google will also do well, and I predict that also. All right, it's a new month. Let's see how the futures are doing. Right now, the Dow is up 137, the S&P is up 7, and the NASDAQ is up 12. It wasn't that good a little while ago. It's actually not. It wasn't bad. It was still, the Dow was up the whole time. The NASDAQ was down a little bit, so it's not that bad. All right, let's get into a little bit real quick. I want to say a couple people online. We got Glenn, and we've got James, and we got Jose, and of course my lovely wife. Thank you so much. All right, let's talk about Lucifer in Canada. All right, listen carefully, guys. Did you ever watch that show, Lucifer? It was a TV show. I don't know if you ever saw it. I never watched it personally, but did you notice that Trudeau, the prime evil minister of Canada, looks a lot like the character Lucifer in the show? No, really, take a look at this. If you put a scruffy beard on Trudeau, you will have the character he mimics. We have seen the devil Trudeau close down churches and arrest pastors for holding services, and we have seen the devil close the banks to keep the citizens of Canada from helping the truck drivers continue with their peaceful protest. Well, now the devil himself is once again changing the course of Canada to destroy any last hope of freedom they may have. As of yesterday, the devil Trudeau introduced legislation to implement a national freeze on the sale and purchase of handguns. This is part of a gun control package that would also limit magazine capacities and ban some toys that look like guns. Toys, right? Remember when you were a kid and played cops and robbers and you had a pop gun? Well, now you can only have a finger pointing because finger pointing is still illegal so far. Anyway, what the devil usually does is he uses truth and he uses it to make lies. He actually said this. You ready for this? We need only look south of the border to know that if we don't take action firmly and rapidly, it gets worse and worse and gets more difficult to counter. Really? Yes, that is correct, Lucifer. If we don't act to stop people or fallen angels like you, it's going to get more and more difficult to counter. He didn't say he would be taking away guns from the people, at least not yet, but he will not allow you to buy more or allow anyone to get one for the first time if this legislation gets passed. It would make an honest citizen, honestly, this would make an honest citizen want to buy 2 or 3 illegal, non-registered guns, so when it happens here in the United States, the people will still have a chance to fight off the devil and the devil's minions, right? We are slowly getting surrounded and we are slowly rotting from the inside. Soon the Constitution will be a memory. Don't let it happen here. Make sure you keep the Constitution alive and defend it with your life. We can only hope that this does not pass in Canada because I'm sure it'll be used as an example here to ban guns. Remember the words of the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The Founding Fathers defended the free state and made it possible to defend it into eternity. That is, as long as the Constitution holds up. Just remember, it has been clocked that an average society lasts about 250 years. Well, guess what? We are at 246 years this year. It may actually be the choice of the next president that determines whether the Constitution survives past the 250-year mark. Remember that in November and in 2 years. By the way, let's take a break here so the people watching in Canada can go hide their weapons and ammo. Hey, just in case, coming up, by the way, just in case, they need to hide their ammo, right? All right, coming up, we have Russia praising Biden. We have Socialism Media and Facebook settling a lawsuit. We'll see you guys.
Okay, so you thought about buying and selling real estate. You thought about investing in the stock market, but don't know where to start. Well, what if you could find a place to unlock strategies to master both real estate and the stock market, all without the headache? That place is Investor Schooling, hosted by Larry Steinhouse, an expert in real estate, financial literacy, and the ins and outs of the stock market. You can attend Investor Schooling in person or online 8 times a month. You can and will learn how to make money in real estate, and you will learn mastery of stock techniques such as options and covered calls. You will even get a chance to ask your one burning question to the stock option sultan, the master of picks and plays. Call today for free information and receive a complimentary pass to attend classes or register online at investorschooling.com. Don't delay. These passes are limited, so what are you waiting for? Call in today or visit investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And of course, if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866
So you thought about buying and selling real estate. You thought about investing in the stock market, but
Hey, I want to thank you all for listening on
what if you
WWDB
could
Radio
find a place to
860
unlock
AM in
strategies
Philadelphia.
to master
And
both
of course,
real
if you're
estate
watching
and
online,
the stock
please hit that
market,
share
all
button so you
without
can
the
help your
headache?
friends learn
That
about
place is
how to make
Investor
more money.
Schooling.
Hit that like button and let me know you enjoy the show. And of course, you can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube, and I will try to respond to them live. A couple of people joining us. We have Bill joined us, and Michael, and Rob, and Chris. All right, Chris, thanks so much. I totally appreciate you watching. And oh, look at that, and Lewis. There we go. All right, so far, of course, we've been discussing the futures update. Right now, the Dow is up 124, the S&P is up 6, and the NASDAQ is up 13. We talked about Lucifer in Canada. Did you guys see that picture? He looks just like the guy who played Lucifer. It's amazing. All right, coming up, we also have Biden being praised by Russia. We have Socialism Media continuing, and we have Facebook being sued again. And, of course, today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button? Did you guys hit that share button? Come on, guys. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Come on now. Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, or Twitter. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, look up Money Chat Now on Facebook when you get home and let me know what you think of the show. Hey, by the way, real quick, before we start the second half, are you guys ready for the financial downturn or the recession that's expected? Well, if you want to survive through it, you should order my new book. Go to barnesandnoble.com and look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. Pre-order it, and I promise you're going to learn something. There are chapters in this book about how to make more money and chapters how to pay less taxes. Imagine that. Make more money, pay less taxes. That's always a good thing. Learn from me as I give you an overview as of all my favorite lessons and hacks I've learned about money. Order Money Hacks today wherever you find fine books. All right, let's get into the second half. Let's talk about Biden getting praise from Russia. Ugh. So in the last half, we talked about Lucifer over in Canada. Here in the United States, we have, well, I'm not really sure what we have. Biden is so bad that even the Russians are praising him. Seriously. In an article in Newsweek yesterday, they talked about the fact that former Russian President Dmitry Medvedev, whatever, appeared to praise President Joe Biden's decision not to give long-range rockets to Ukraine amid the ongoing Russian invasion. So Medvedev, there it is, Medvedev, here we go, currently deputy chairman of the Russian Security Council, said that he was rational for the U.S. not to provide Ukraine with rockets that can reach inside Russia. This came after Biden said, we're not going to send Ukraine rocket systems that can strike into Russia. So here we have it. Biden clearly wants the war in Ukraine to stay on the Ukraine border side. It isn't a war. It's a military training ground. It's no different than the training grounds we have here in some of the deserts we have in the United States, except the people are real and not placards. We keep sending Ukraine money and missiles, but the missiles that we're sending can't even strike into Russia. It's not a war. In a war, both sides try to stop the other by causing pain on society. Our sanctions and the sanctions imposed by the other countries are basically being laughed off by Russia and Ukraine, and Ukraine gets more money just to keep a war going that they can't possibly win. In fact, I actually believe it would be better for Ukraine to use the missiles and weapons that we're sending them to destroy their own country. That way, I mean, that's all they're good for anyway. They can't even reach Russia. They can only reach the Ukraine. So the best thing they could do to end this war is end the war by blowing up their own stuff. And that way Russia will have to pick up the pieces. The number one reason this war is still going on is because the United States keeps feeding it. Please understand, I'm not a fan of Putin's actions, but this needs to stop one way or another. Lives are being lost just so the United States can feel good about helping a country while a bully is beating on them. It's time for us to either step up or step out. Unbelievable. If we're defending Ukraine, send them all we have. If we aren't, stop sending them anything. Send humanitarian aid when the war ends to help feed the people that were made homeless by the senseless war. And by the way, even the great Henry Kissinger is publicly saying it's time to think about a diplomatic settlement to end the war, and that settlement will have to include territorial concessions to Russia. All I keep thinking is WWTD. What would Trump do? Oh yeah, I forgot. This wouldn't have happened if Trump was in office. So let's go to WWY do. Or YD. WWYD, right? What would you do? The answer? Vote for Trump in 2024. I sure hope he runs because if you remember what I said earlier, 246 years means only 4 more years to go. Oh. All right, let's get into Socialism Media. Hey, I've been in Facebook jail so many times that they have my room ready for me at all times. I'm like that character on the old Andy Griffith show, who used to walk into the jail and arrest himself. I think the guy's name was Otis. Anyway, 2 states have tried to sue the social media companies for censorship and denying the users their First Amendment rights by allowing the user to post anything or any opinion that they wanted. So basically they say, hey, listen, if I put up and says that vaccines don't work or masks don't work or the other thing, the election is fraud or whatever, right? If I put that up, I'm immediately banned from Facebook. So if I put that up and I'm banned from Facebook, this says, hey, this is my opinion, freedom of speech. Why should I be banned? Well, there was an act called Act HB 20. By the way, YouTube, in case you were monitoring what I just said, I'm using an example. Please don't ban me again. Anyway, Act HB 20, which by the way I read, has several great points. If you guys want to read something interesting, look up Act HB 20. So it has some great points, including the idea that social media companies must have clear rules on what is allowed and what is not allowed before deleting content or punishing users. The act also looked for a clear complaint or appeal system that is fair and unbiased. This is great. Section 143A.002 clearly eliminates censorship of opinions placed on posts and responses to posts. So they eliminate the censorship, right? I highly recommend you read it. It's actually easy to understand, and it's an easy language, and it's purposeful. Well, to continue, the Supreme Court denied this act. Ugh. I also read the results and opinions of the judges. Here's the rub. I hate to say it, but they're correct. The decision came down to this being a private company, and they can, within reason, make their own rules and change their own rules at any time. It's a sad day, though, when a corporation that legally operates as a monopoly and controls so much thought in the public is not only allowed, but feels it has a moral obligation to control the opinions of at least half of its users. The First Amendment is useless if we continue into the future of corporate control and ideas and opinions. Unfortunately, we'll be allowing this to happen unless a ruling making a certain amount of users can be declared public domain. Understand what I'm trying to say? So I believe that we say, hey, when a platform has a certain amount of users, it's no longer public domain. It's no longer private domain. It's now public domain. Look, I'm not a lawyer, but I believe that's the perfect argument. Make a certain amount of users become public domain, right? Any lawyers out there want to chime in? I'd love to hear your opinion on this. I think this makes total sense. All right. Also, hey, Mark, I'm going to say hi. It looks like Mark joined us as well. All right. Real quick, let's get into Facebook privacy lawsuit. So after just discussing the idea that social media companies are allowed to censor free speech, they are also responsible for the privacy of their users. We all know about the challenges that Facebook had about their user privacy, and recently they ended a great feature that tagged you in a photo so you could help share your post with your friends. By the way, I actually like the feature, but it turns out that this could have some serious privacy issues and privacy problems, and some states sued Facebook over it and won. A $650 million class action lawsuit settled against Facebook stated that they illegally used facial recognition data gathered without the user's consent to prompt users to tag their friends on Facebook. So checks up to $397 per user are going out to Illinois residents as a result of this settlement. So I find this really interesting, right? They're sending checks of $397 per user. If they're sending the checks per user, think about this. Does that mean that Facebook now has their address too? Is that a privacy issue? Anyway, Illinois' privacy laws are one of the strictest in the country, and similar laws also exist in Texas, Washington, and they're set to go into effect next year in California, Colorado, and Virginia. I would expect these states will be suing as well. By the way, Google and Shutterfly had similar features, and you should expect a settlement from these companies as well. I do have to say that the age of social media is definitely changing the rules. I can only imagine what the metaverse is going to bring. All I can think about are the movies. Have you ever seen the movie The Surrogate and the movie The Matrix? Well, I'm telling you, go take a watch, look at these movies. Well, I got to go plug myself in for a data dump to have you navigate the stock market. So if you want a great data dump of information on how to make more money and pay less taxes, watch the next commercial. Hi, I'm Larry Steinhouse, and I've written a book called Money Hacks. The subtitle to this book is Because Everything You Think You Know About Money is Wrong, and I promise you there are things you think about money that are wrong. There are chapters in this book that I think you will find absolutely fascinating, and some of them are, what is money anyway? Can money buy happiness? I'll bet you don't know the answer to that question. The truth about credit scores, how you can actually use credit cards to rebuild your credit. I also have chapters on being your own bank, how to buy houses with an IRA, and how to invest with other people's money. There are so many other chapters. There are 22 total chapters in this book, and I promise you're going to learn how to make more money and pay less taxes when you buy this book. My name is Larry Steinhouse. The name of the book is Money Hacks. You can get this book wherever fine books are sold, and you can go to barnesandnoble.com right now and pre-order it. I hope that you will enjoy it. All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. By the way, did you guys order that book yet? What are you waiting for? Order the book. Hey, by the way, who's coming to tonight's event? You know, I'm having an event tonight where I'm doing my book launch. It's going to be at the Sheridan in Oxford Valley. You had to have signed up for it, so just don't show up. But I'm hoping I will see you guys there. So if you come in, please let me know. So far, we've been discussing the futures update. Right now, the Dow is up 125. The S&P is up 6, almost 7. And the NASDAQ is up 14. Hey, we talked about Lucifer in Canada. We got to get rid of these people. We really do. We talked about Biden being praised by Russia because he wants to keep the war going. I don't get this guy at all. Social media, we talked about social media being, basically allowing censoring. It is what it is. And we talked about Facebook being sued for facial recognition. Coming up, of course, we have today's picks and plays. Did you guys hit that like button yet? Come on, hit that share button. Let everybody know what great stock is coming up, what great stock plays are coming up. Hit that share button. Come on, Chris, hit that share button. Mark, hit that share button. I see you guys. David, hit that share button. I see you guys out there. Hit that share button right now. And you can share it, by the way, in groups, or you can share it on a page that you feel will benefit from the great stock plays. Hey, by the way, you can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So if you're watching that as well, you can leave it there. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this station and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about politics behind the stock market. All right, let's talk about what's going on. So it kind of looks like it might be a decent but quiet day. You know, sometimes when I'm looking for direction of the market, I'll look at the foreign markets to see if I can get any clue. And this morning, it looks like the foreign markets, I don't know, kind of closed, mixed a bit, right? So there really wasn't much. It actually looks like the futures look this morning mixed as well. I don't see anything that would be a catalyst to make the market move up or down today. So we're going to wait and see what happens. We will also see an updated look at the manufacturing and construction spending data. But again, I don't see much happening from that data either way. You know, whether it's good or bad, I don't see the market jumping on it or not. Look for some deals today. I'm going to tell you, Amazon and Google will both be good plays as we head into the split. You know, I forgot to mention that Salesforce had a nice earnings and guidance report, and the stock is now up about 8% in pre-market. Salesforce, with the symbol CRM, is the leading contact manager software used by most companies. Personally, I got to tell you, I hate the software, but most companies use it. It'll actually be a bright spot in the news, but again, I don't see it being a catalyst to make the market pop today. Tomorrow will be interesting when the initial job claims data is announced. You know, what are you expecting? I don't even know what I'm expecting. I'm not sure what to expect. I do see layoffs, and I no longer see help wanted signs. That may tell the story, but we'll see tomorrow what the jobs bring. All right, let's take a look at the futures and see what's going on right now. Right now, the Dow is up 125, the S&P is up 7, and the Nasdaq is up 18. So it may be a decent day. Who knows? All right, let's talk a little bit about crypto. Bitcoin is now about 31,500, and it's pretty much where it was yesterday. And look, if you're in on this, I'm going to suggest you get out around 38,000 if that happens. Take the profit and run. I don't see Bitcoin going really past 40,000, if ever, at least not for a long time. I think this cryptocurrency stuff is now starting to settle down. I don't think it's going to go crazy anymore unless something crazy happens, like maybe Elon Musk decides he wants to sell it, give it away free Bitcoin with a Tesla or something. I don't know. Anyway, gold and silver are moving up slowly, but there's really nothing to see here either. This is another one that's really nothing happening. So again, I told you I keep buying silver, I keep buying silver, but I don't see it moving. But I do see it being a big push in the future. The Treasury bond are moving up slowly, and they're around 2.86. I told you, 3% probably isn't going to damage the market, but 3.25 with 3.5% is going to damage the market. I would look for that. I'm going to guess that's going to happen by the end of the year. Also, oil prices popped, and they're now around 117, but I expect them to pull back a little bit, unless, of course, Joe Biden wants to make sure that that doesn't happen. All right, don't forget, if you want to survive in the Biden economy, you need to order my new book. Go, order it. It's called Money Hacks. I'll take you through the world of money and how the rich pay less taxes. And by the way, I use the same rules that you can play by and explain them in the book. Pre-order the book wherever fine books are sold, and it'll be available in stores next month. Hey, I want to thank all the listeners on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia. I want to thank you for your continued support, and if you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let me know. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I am the host of Money Chat Now, and I am the CEO of Investor Schooling. And remember, if you want to contact me, you can contact me at contactlarry.com. Make it a profitable day.